Elizabeth Palmer Peabody was one of the most remarkable individuals in Boston's history. Her father was a dentist. He practiced dentistry on what is now called the North Shore, moving from town to town, an itinerant dentist, because he apparently was not quite as skillful as he needed to be to stay in one town for a long period of time. When she was a teenager, Elizabeth Palmer Peabody came to Boston to find work, and she found work as a school teacher. In fact, her co-teacher for a time was young Ralph Waldo Emerson, who later went on to his own career as a philosopher. And in Boston, Elizabeth Palmer Peabody also came under the sway of William Ellery Channing, the great Unitarian minister, and she transcribed some of Channing's sermons and began to publish them. In fact, she started her own printing press. She had a little bookshop on West Street in downtown Boston, and in the back room of the bookshop she had a printing press. She published a magazine called The Dial, and she also published other books that are considered classics of the transcendentalist movement. She published Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. She published Margaret Fuller's essays. So Elizabeth Palmer Peabody was the center of an intellectual network in Boston. She lived in a boarding house on Beacon Hill, and one of the other tenants was Horace Mann, the recently widowed president of the Massachusetts State Senate. And Elizabeth Palmer Peabody and Horace Mann shared an intellectual relationship throughout their lives. There might have been speculation that they might have married. However, Mann met Elizabeth's sister Mary, and Horace Mann and Mary Peabody married and had a happy family. Elizabeth then met a dashing young writer from Salem, Nathaniel Hawthorne, who was regarded as the handsomest man in Salem. And Hawthorne was determined to make a career as a writer of serious fiction. They had a very close relationship over a number of years, and again, there might have been speculation, if people were in a gossiping mood, that Elizabeth Palmer Peabody and the most handsome man in Salem might wed. But before that happened, Nathaniel Hawthorne met Elizabeth's sister Sophia, an artist. And Sophia had been sickly as a child. She, however, recovered sufficiently to marry Nathaniel Hawthorne. So Elizabeth Palmer Peabody, the great intellectual kinswoman of Nathaniel Hawthorne and Horace Mann, never married herself. However, she introduced her sisters to their respective spouses. And she introduced into America the idea of kindergarten and published the Kindergarten Messenger, helping the idea of kindergarten, the idea of educating young children between the ages of 4 and 6, not educating them in the way public education was conducted in the 19th century, through strict regimentation and through memorization, but instead educating them through play and through social interactions as a way of bringing out their better natures. This may have been her greatest contribution to American society, opening the first kindergarten in America in Boston in 1860, part of her long and accomplished life.